First things first, we're going viral. The Rockets opened their preseason with a blowout win over the Shanghai Sharks last night. Jame Harden brought his sidestep three to game action. Check it out, off the back iron.
Man, folks are going to start saying this is a travel. And now, he didn't make it. You think you're going to use that during the season, see? Because I do. The sidestep one-footer?
Yeah, I think he will, but I don't see what advantage it gives him. It doesn't give you any advantage on the defense and everything. The guy's still right on his shot, like...
Well, you can't do a step back from the corner. That's the only reason. It's in order to do something of a step back three, but from the corner. That's what it's there for. It wouldn't make any sense above the break. But you see what I'm saying? Like his step.
When they start shooting free throws with one leg, then I'll start being like, yeah, you know something you should do? You should try that. All right?
Yeah, but he's trying to get separation from the defender.
It's not going to help you. You can't get any push. If your leg's trying to go up, separation is created by going away. All right? He's not moving away from the defender that much. Like, he's got better moves. It's not like when you're inventing moves, it's not like everyone's going to be the best one.
Oh, agreed on that point. Absolutely.
I just show me where he's gaining an advantage besides, oh, this is something new.
Okay.
And if they start shooting free throws with one leg up like that, then you know what?
Nothing, but you can't guard someone on a free throw. There's no one you're trying to get away from.
This is not helping you get away from the defender.
Yeah, I think you need a little separation. Now, that fella from the Shanghai Sharks is not an NBA level.
How much separation do I need to get away from the Shanghai Sharks?
Well, I don't know. Well, you practice.
He had a triple-double in the first half.
Right, maybe in part because they were afraid of the sidestep three.
Okay. I don't think this will be in
part of
the
his
Naismith Hall of Fame.
Oh,
don't think it'll be there with the peach basket.
I think it's too early to say.
So we're good. Stories to start your morning. Monday Night Football. Steelers beat the Bengals 27-3 to get the first win of the season. James Conner had 125 yards from scrimmage, and Big Ben's replacement, Mason Rudolph, had a solid night, 2 touchdowns, while completing 86% of his passes. Nick, what'd you make of the game last night?
Not much, except for Pittsburgh can hold on to some hope that their season's not lost. Mason Rudolph played well. He outplayed Andy Dalton, and the Steelers, because of the division they're in, they're only a game back of first place with Baltimore and Cleveland. So the Bengals are a disaster on both sides of the ball. They could not protect Andy Dalton at all. But this was, I'm not going to lie to America, this was not an exciting or enjoyable football game to watch.
No, my Fox bet, my boost pick was James Washington to score a touchdown. And I think the NFL before this game made it illegal to throw the ball 15 yards down the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, they were not trying to move. They were managing this game. They can say they have a lot of confidence in Mason Rudolph, maybe at the practice field. But what's in the game? No. And the Bengals, besides the Dolphins, are one of the worst teams that we have in the league.
They're in the running for the second worst team of football, no doubt.
All right, on to the Cowboys. Their starting left tackle, Tyron Smith, suffered a high ankle sprain against the Saints Sunday. He's reportedly week to week, which is better news than we originally thought. But see, how much does this injury impact Dak and Z?
Oh, it's going to impact him. He's been one of the best in the business for a long time. And this is the thing about great players. The greatest of the great can play injured. Now, no one can play hurt. We don't expect that. But injured, can you play injured? That's his front foot. That's his push-off foot. And with a high ankle sprain, Jenna, it's not the side of the ankle like a basketball sprain where you do like that, you step on someone's ankle. It's the back of the ankle. So trying to push off of it becomes very, very hard. And that front right foot is his push foot, being a left tackle. So I look for him to maybe miss more time, maybe than even Barkley, who's a running back who got a high ankle sprain. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, that's shocking to me that he missed that much time. But regardless, just not having him this week against those edge rushers, Preston Zadarius Smith of Green Bay, that could be critical for them. And I think we'll talk more about this probably tomorrow when we show you the numbers. Dak's numbers with and without Tyron Smith are just as jarring as with and without Zeke. Tyron Smith has been critically important to Dak Prescott's success. This play right there that cost him a chance to get in field goal range might have cost him much more than that in the game on Sunday night.
All right, Raiders linebacker Vontaze Burfict has been suspended for the rest of the season after the helmet-to-helmet hit on Jack Doyle this past weekend. The league citing Burfict's repeated violations of the unnecessary roughness rules and handing out the longest suspension ever for an on-field incident. See, what'd you make of this?
Well, they got it right. And I hope to not ever see number 55 ever play in the NFL game again. I believe he'll be the first player ever suspended for conduct on the field compared to substances off the field.
Indefinitely suspended.
Indefinitely suspended. I don't believe the appeal will be turned over. They have spent more resources on this one player individually going to talk to him, flying to talk to him, trying to get him to change the way he's playing football. He's chose not to change football, so he shouldn't be in the game. 1,600 players playing. There's only a couple still playing at this level, and it's a dinosaur. All right? We're not accepting that type of play anymore, and he shouldn't be playing in it. I'm glad the league got it right.
Rinse, repeat. We said the same thing about Burfict last year in a different jersey, Chris and I both, that this would be the first player we think should be kicked out of the league based on this stuff. They didn't kick him out of the league last year. They gave him a long suspension, and now he's at it again. Last week, he might have tried to punch a guy, got away with it because they said he was trying to punch at the football. And you know what Burfict didn't do himself any favors with? His reaction. The little grin and waving kisses to the fans. There's no remorse. There's no change.
There you go, Raiders. Nice job by your team captain. He's also the guy that told the team, hey, let's bring Antonio Brown back on the team. So, John Gruden, because I know Mike Mayock, this is not the type of player he would sign. This is a John Gruden signing right here.
We are officially a quarter of the way through the season, and Russell Wilson has quietly led his Seahawks to 3 wins. So far this year, only Pat Mahomes has a higher passer rating. When asked about his quarterback, Pete Carroll couldn't say enough.
I think he's off to his best start ever. I don't know what it looks like numbers-wise, but I think it is. He's, I don't think he's ever been more accurate than he's been and more consistent and in command of everything, So I think he's off to a great start. I mean, I don't care how big the numbers are. I'm not talking about how many yards or whatever. His play has just been really, really sharp.
Pete Carroll loves his quarterback every single year. C, is Russell Wilson the best quarterback in the NFC?
I don't think so. I would still take 2 quarterbacks over Russ, and I got a lot of respect for Russ. And, this is like a beauty contest. So you have to be careful because ladies get offended, all right? So even the third most beautiful woman in the world, she's going to be upset that she didn't win. And that's what this is like because Drew Brees and what he's accomplished throughout his career, he might be the best passer of the football that we have ever seen, and definitely pound for pound. Aaron Rodgers still can play at a high level. He's got a new coach and a new offensive system there in Green Bay. Both of these quarterbacks I would take in a throwing contest with Russell Wilson any day of the week. All 3 of them are very, very special. So for me, Russell to be included in that class. Now, Nick always talks about he's underrated. Yes, he is underrated. And saying that he's the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC in this golden age of throwers that we have, that's not an indictment on him. But look at the 2 that are in front of him. That would be Aaron Rodgers, probably the most talented thrower we've ever seen with the football. Now we got Patty Mahomes. That's the only one, maybe. Those 3. Them, Marino, Patty Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. And then now we got Drew Brees, who's the most accomplished passer that we've ever seen play this game. That's why he holds all the records. So for me, hey, Russ, I mean, you're pretty. You're the 3rd prettiest woman in the world. So I know you're not going to like that. So Nick Wright's probably not going to like that
Well,
either.
Here's where I disagree with you. I think that Brees and Rodgers, clearly, if we're doing all-time quarterback pantheon, they are way ahead of Russell Wilson. But right now, this moment, the most effective quarterback in the NFC is Russell Wilson. And by the way, you can argue he has been the last 3 years. No quarterback in football has more touchdown passes the last 3 years than Russell Wilson. And he's doing it while they keep pairing off his receiving core. He doesn't have no Devontae Adams. He doesn't have any Michael Thomas. He certainly doesn't have an Alvin Kamara, a little do-everything running back. Last year, he had Doug Baldwin. Doesn't even have that this year. And yet, despite that, this year, he's #1 in the NFC in passer rating, #1 in completion percentage, #3 in yards per attempt. He's got no interceptions on the season. He's got the most touchdowns he's ever had through a month of football, and he has to do everything. Last year, at least Seattle had a running game that led the NFL in total yards, not yards per carry, but total yards. This year, that running game is less than 3.9 yards per carry, less than 90 yards per game, and he still finds a way to be highly productive. Aaron Rodgers, I agree. He's the most talented quarterback I'd ever seen before Patrick Mahomes walked in the league, and Aaron Rodgers still probably holds that title. But Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 years, not the last 3 games, the last 3 years, has not been as good as Russell Wilson. And Drew Brees, while he was sensational the first dozen games of last year, tailed off at the end of the season, and now he's injured. And so it's one thing to say a throwing contest. It's another thing, who's the most effective quarterback in the NFC?
Well, let's just take this. Let's take Aaron Rodgers and put him on Seattle. Is Seattle a better team? Hell yeah.
Well, let's take Russell Wilson the last couple years and put him on Green Bay. Is Green Bay better? Because
because he can't make the throws that Aaron can make.
But he'd be available. He's not going to get hurt the way Aaron's been hurt.
With the same offensive line, if you take the same hits, how you know he's not going to get hurt?
I know that he's had bad offensive lines. He's never been hurt in a game of his career. Now, I'm not trying to take away from Aaron Rodgers. You know,
if I put Drew Brees on Seattle, we can throw as much as we want to. All right? There's nothing wrong with you liking Russell Wilson. But to think that he's a better quarterback, no. Like, he's not a better quarterback than those other two guys.
Just a quick question about the Seahawks team, because we really don't talk a lot about them. And they're quietly off to a pretty good start, except for last week. Are we underrating how good they are? You talk about the lack of weapons on this team and Russell Wilson having to do everything.
The only team in the league that clearly has a better coach-quarterback combo is Brady, Belichick, and that's also probably legacy, because right now Russell Wilson's far better than Tom Brady is this moment. The reason I picked him to win the division at the beginning of the year is I trust Pete Carroll, I trust Russell Wilson. A down year for them is 9 games, 9 wins. They've never even been 500 with Russell Wilson as their quarterback. So, yeah, I do think they're underrated. Right now, given what we've said about the Rams, I think they're the favorites in the NFC West.
They tried to get AB before he went to New England.
All right, take a break. Coming up, we got a very special guest in studio. Stephanie McMahon joins us next on First Things First.